G'day guys, welcome to another layout. Now this one is, I kept it pretty simple. Now I want to draw your attention to these little things here. What this actually is when I do use my die cutting machine, there is a release paper that you can put between your die and the piece you're cutting. I cut out a heap of letters the other day and I thought, I wonder if I used these pieces, this is the release paper, I wonder if that would create a bit of visual interest in the background. If I put them down with some medium matte, what's it called? Multimedia matte paste. Like if I put that down, gel, I wonder if it would help create a little bit of visual interest in the background, like instead of stenciling, instead of that sort of thing. So that's what I'm putting down. This is technically rubbish, is what I'm putting on here. But I thought about it and I thought, you know, in the junk journaling world and in the art journaling world, you do things like this. This is what I used to do. So I thought, you know, I might just pop it on here. I'm using a black and white photo, so I'm free to use whatever colors I like on this particular layout. And as you can see, I'm just popping them down just in and around where the photo would be. And I haven't put any gesso on this page or anything yet. So I am just popping these down only because I wasn't sure how these would go. I didn't know if I wanted to use gesso at this point. I knew I wanted to play with my sprays and stuff, but I wasn't quite sure where I was going with it. Now, was this a raging success and will I do it again? Probably not. Would I do this with actual letters? Yes, I have, and I will continue to do it in the future. And apologies for my dogs barking. My neighbours have decided to mow their lawn. Yeah, so I absolutely would do it again. This, look, it was neither here nor there. It was going to go in the rubbish anyway. So I just popped it down and I thought I would leave it in here just to show you guys, do you think it worked or not? In the photos at the end, and if you jump over to Facebook or Instagram, you can see the photos close up and you actually can see it. And it does come through in different bits. So it wasn't a complete waste, but in future I wouldn't use the release paper. You know, it really is just chuck it in the bin. But that's okay. We live and we learn, right? I would rather do it and show you guys if it does work or if it doesn't work. And that, you know, it's all good. Now, that's all dried. Now I am back. Now I did pull out this is my clear gesso. This is the Finnabair Art Basics clear gesso. This is the oldest tube on the planet. It is I'm still getting gesso out of this bottle and I refuse to waste it. I do have the new one. It comes in a tub now. And if I was to recommend any gesso on the planet, that would be it because it's amazing. Again, huge thank you to Bobby for supplying me with this beautiful 3 tubs actually of the Crafters Workshop Light and Fluffy modeling paste. Now I'm popping it down just in 2 spots because I'm trying to just build it up in sections. That's what I'm doing. I knew I wanted texture, but I didn't want to go over the top yet because I wanted the texture to be in and around the photo. So this here is where I thought, again, this is the cardstock that I cut the letters out of. And I thought, you know, this might work, this might not work. Who knows? But I thought I'd give it a crack. Now, I pulled out my blue sprays. I pulled out my oxides. I used Tumbled Glass, which is the lightest blue, Uncharted Marina, Mermaid Lagoon, Salty Ocean, Carved Pumpkin, and Ripe Persimmon. This sort of worked. You can see that it worked. But I was just being very, very, and I wanted it to be grungy and messy. I didn't want it to look like that I'd traced the letters. That's what I was going for. And yes, I made a big mess. But it's okay. It's all right. bit of water, cleans it up. It's not a problem. Now, as you can see, am I a huge fan of how that looks so far? Not exactly, but you know what? It's only 1 or 2 steps from there to something you really love. So don't give up on it. Don't give up on it there and then. Now, this is where I pulled out my little air blowy tool thing. I got this from Temu. I think I got it from Temu, and it was like $2. Is it as big as the other ones on the market? I think it's maybe a little bit smaller. I don't know, but it works for me and it doesn't hurt my hand. The only thing is I can only really get it to blow towards me. I had a navy blue shirt on, so everything was okay. If you have a white shirt on, don't do this. You will wear it, trust me. Now, I started here and I was doing this. At this point, I just let go of the idea of the letters. I just thought, no, you know what? I actually really like this a lot more. The tumbled glass in the spray is so light that it just honestly gets lost. So in this particular technique, I decided that I would go more for the Uncharted Marina and Mermaid Lagoon. They sort of make they have much more of a punch. But I really like that. If you don't have one of these tools, you could use a straw. You could blow it with your mouth. You could do whatever whatever you see fit. I also have a spray gun that I've done this with before, but the little air tool is just as easy and it's kind of more hands-on. So you're able to control, I use the term very loosely. You don't really control where it goes, but you can try. I literally got fireworks out of this. This was, for me, I really want to do a page with fireworks. I have photos of fireworks, so I'm thinking about how I'm going to do that exactly. I did get a stack more Distress Oxide sprays yesterday, so I have a really good range now. Don't have all of them, but I do have a good range. So, sorry if my chair's squeaking, guys. I cannot sit still. I either have to be doing something with my hands or something with my feet. And while I sit here and relive what I do on my layouts, I have to do something. I usually always have, and I have my pen in my hand. Can you hear it? I have my pen in my hand, and unfortunately my chair is getting a little worse for wear. So it's making all sorts of noises. I have to take Taylor off to the dentist today, so she's going to love that. Actually, by the time this goes up, it was on Tuesday. And yeah, she's not a fan of dentists, but unfortunately she was actually born with no enamel on her teeth, and that was nothing that I had done. I beat myself up for it for years, and it was actually due to a high temperature in my first trimester of pregnancy. I had no idea, no clue. Neither did no one that I've told had a clue either, but apparently that's what it's from. So when I say a high temperature, I didn't have a high temperature. The days were hot. It was a really hot summer in 98. So yeah, so there you go. So she has to go to the dentist. She's got to keep an eye on all her teeth and all that sort of stuff. So she has got her adult teeth, thankfully, came through with enamel, which is amazing. So, but we have to keep on top of it. So now I decided to bring in a bit of orange, not too much, because blue and red make mud. Blue and orange make mud, right? So be very, very careful where you put it and don't let it sit too long. So I'm being very, very specific where I'm putting it. I'm trying to put it down where it's white that may run across the blue, but not actually combining it. And I think I pulled that off. That actually turned out pretty good. I'm loving how this is looking so far. This is my photo. Oh, well, it was for 5 seconds. Half a second maybe. Now this is the mica paint that I make. This is it's not a secret recipe. It's up on my I played with the quantities and I come up with a bit of a recipe. It's over on the Facebook group. If you have mica powders and you don't know how to get them to stick to your paper, or you go to use them and they just dust off, follow these recipes. I've got one for a spray and one for a paint, and they both work beautifully, and the mica does not come off your artwork at all. You can use it on cards, you can use it on scrapbooking, you can do it on anything you like, and it's awesome. The paint is water-based and the spray is rubbing alcohol-based. So there you go. Now, I love the little bit of gold on top of it. It was really screaming to me. Now, at this point, I'm actually starting to see the letters coming through. I know that sounds weird, but there was obviously just the right amount of colour going on and around that you can actually see the letters a little bit. So it has added texture. I didn't want to go in with stencils and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to just keep it simple because I'm supposed to be keeping it simple in September and showing you guys different ways of doing things. So if you have a trimmer, if you have a guillotine, you cannot do this. But if you have a trimmer like this, you can cut out the inside layers of your layout. Now, you saw me do that line across the page. That is because I'm spinning these around, and it's just so I can get back to my correct orientation. So, and get it all to line back up again, roughly. I'm not too worried if the squares aren't perfectly square. I'm not too worried about all that sort of thing, but I love how this turns out in the end. I like doing things like this with papers that I really like, that I want to create depth and difference, but I don't want to, I don't know, I don't want to cut them up into little pieces. I don't want to do anything like that. So you can see here, I'm raising up that inside, so you've got your black mat, then you've got your border, this piece here, I'm raising that piece there up. So getting it to, I use these sticky strips. Now the reason, okay, I'm getting tongue-tied here. I have never done this before, but I've seen other people do it and it looks really effective. I was given in one of these, came free with a pack that I got from, I can't even remember. I don't know where they came from, but they're ECOLINE brush pens, and I got a black one, a red one, and a green one. I don't know that I don't think I bought them. I may have bought them. I thought they were given to me. Anyway, I digress. I'm running around the outside edge with the black pen just to give the black a bit of, to cover up that white edge. Now, learning curve, let me tell you, go from the back of your cardstock. Do not come in from the front, because I stuff up and I slipped and I ended up with a black line. I'm not crying a river over it. See how I'm doing it that way? Don't. Come in from the back. Hold your colour away from the pen, because otherwise if you slip, you're going to go onto your artwork. But these ECOLINE pens, I am not a brush pen artist or anything, but it's a really good, lush, juicy pen. I've got to say, it's really nice. And I don't know, I might give brush, I like to toy with different things. I like to play with things and then move on to something different. I'm not someone that just constantly does the same thing over and over and over again. I need a mouthful of my coffee. Give me half a second. Sorry, it's really early. Karen without coffee just doesn't function. Okay. So, yeah, I like to play with different ideas and different, when an idea pops in my head, I like to go, okay, let's see if I can do that. Bang, bang, bang. Yep, it worked. Okay, cool. Now, put that out for everyone else so they can copy it or If they like it, they can do it. If they don't, they don't. If they want to buy the same papers, they can. And that's what this scrapbook channel is all about. It's all about sharing knowledge. Nobody owns these techniques. Nobody owns any of that. Companies own papers and product. And for that, absolutely. Once you purchase the product though, it's yours. You can do with it what you want. If you put it out there and you do something silly with it and encourage other people to do silly things with it, then, you know, that's not cool. But for me, I like pushing products and pushing processes as far as I possibly can and see what kind of results I get. Like I always say, we love some things, you know, we love some layouts, we don't love other layouts as much. You know, it is what it is. Now, I love this photo of me and my girl. This is Ange. She's my middle child, if you're new to my channel. I'm going to do my shameless plug a little bit earlier today. If you guys have not subscribed, I'm trying in vain to reach 2,000 subscribers by Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to make it. We seem to have slowed down a little bit. I have stopped promoting my channel in Facebook groups. So if you're a part of a Facebook group or something and you don't mind telling people that, you know, where I am, that would be amazing. Self-promotion is really hard for an Aussie, I've got to tell you. We don't like singing our own praises. So, I mean, I do jump on every so often and I share a few layouts that I've created, and I do that with my channel link, and I don't like doing that very often because it's a bit of I feel like it's sort of overstepping the mark a little bit, you know. I think it's okay if especially if you've asked and you can, you know, share what you do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a goal. I think with any business that you're trying to get up and running or get going or any of those things, I feel like there has to be promotion. Can you see I just slipped then? Did you see that? Now there's a big black blot. Don't come in from the front. Like I said, do it from the back and just roll it around the edges. Yeah, so self-promotion doesn't come easily. I am not one to hate bragging. Bragging just, it's distasteful. It's distasteful. But, you know, I give it a crack. I try and promote as much as I possibly can and get it out there. But I guess word of mouth is probably better, you know, for you guys. If you know one person and you could send them over this way to check out my videos, they might like them, they might not like them. They might think I'm a bit too quirky for them. They mightn't like Australian content. They might like card making only. I'm not sure. But there's my head. I apologize. I'm literally trying to cover up my boo-boo that I made with my ECOLINE pen. And I do. Now, you probably noticed the top of this Y is very flat. For some reason, my Cricut mat didn't go in straight into my Cricut. And, you know, its little notches, if you don't have one of these machines, it actually sort of has a couple of spots that before it starts to cut. What are they called? I want to say trademark. That's not what it is. If you know what it's called, put it down below. It does like a little digit just to know exactly where it's starting and finishing sort of thing. And yeah, it wasn't quite lined up and I was busy with the kids and I didn't take any notice. So I cut the top off, but I thought, you know what? That's okay. I share with you guys the good, the bad and the ugly. Look, I cut out a title and it's crooked, but I ran with it. So here's the layout, guys. Let me know what you think. Also, my offset on this one for my title was 0.97. So there you go. So you can see, if you have a look nice and close, you can actually see where the letters behind the photos, you can see them sort of popping through behind everything where the inks have run between it. I love the texture of that darkroom door stencil. It's the mesh stencil. I got mine from Crazy Craft Obsession if you want to grab yourself one. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.